Let me show you something you probably see every day but you don't fully understand. If Excel has ever confused you, then this video is for you. Hi guys, it's Sylvia, and today we'll be looking at Introduction to Spreadsheets. Introduction to Spreadsheets, that is understanding spreadsheet basics. By the end of this lesson, students should be able to explain what a spreadsheet is, identify the components of a spreadsheet, create a simple spreadsheet, enter and edit data, save a spreadsheet workbook. Firstly, we'll look at what a spreadsheet is. A spreadsheet is a computer application that is designed to add, display, analyze, organize, and manipulate data arranged in rows and columns. A collection of a spreadsheet is called a workbook. Every Excel file is called a workbook. A single Excel worksheet is a tabular spreadsheet that consists of a matrix of rectangular cells grouped in rows and columns. Then we have features of a spreadsheet. Data is arranged in rows and columns, performs automatic calculations, easy to edit and update, stores large amounts of data, and used for reports and charts. Then we have components of a spreadsheet. The basic components of a spreadsheet include we have the title bar, toolbar, name box, and formula bar, and so on. Now let's go into Excel to practicalize this. Title bar. This is what they call title bar. Where my cursor is, the book one Excel is called a title bar. Then we have the toolbar. This is what they call the toolbar. The file consists of where we can create a new workbook, we can open a new workbook, we can save as print. That is what file contains. Then we have home. Then we have our home. Home is where we have the cut, copy, the where we can copy, we can paste, we can format. Then we have where we can use different kind of fonts, change our font size, and then do a lot of things, wrap this, merge and center, conditional formatting, and so on. We'll look into this in our subsequent lessons. Then we have our inserts. Insert is where we can insert tables, we can insert charts, we can insert pictures. Then we have page layouts. Page layouts is how you want your workbook to look like. Then we have formulas. We have a lot of formulas in Excel, like they are literally unending. We have a lot of formulas. We have the auto sum, we have financial, we have logical, we have text, date and time, lookup, and reference, and so on. Then with data is where we can filter our cell, refresh, existing connection, and so on. Then we have review and we have view. Those are our toolbar. Then name box. Name box, this is what they call name box. Look at where my cursor is. This is a cell. Each box in Excel is called a cell. It's just like in biology, cell is a small unit. So in Excel, we also have a cell. So each box is called a cell. So where my cursor is, this is the name box. The name box here is A1. This means, the columns are always alphabetical. Then the rows are always the numbers. So where my cursor is right now, this name box is telling me where there's something that they call cell referencing in Excel. So if I'm to know where my cell is, it means my cell is in column A, row 1. That's A1. This is the name box here. So if I should move it, you see that I'm in B1 now. I move it, see that I'm in C1 now. So that's basically what's name box. Then we have our formula bar. This is our formula bar where we type our formulas. If we can also type our formulas in here as we're typing our formulas, it shows in the formula bar and so on, like that. So we have our rows heading. This is our rows heading. The rows heading are always, just like I mentioned earlier, the rows headings are always in number, and the columns heading are always alphabetical. Then cell, I already talked about cell, and I already talked about cell referencing. Then navigating buttons. Navigating buttons is basically, I mentioned earlier that Excel consists of a workbook. So this is a workbook, and inside that workbook we have sheets, we have spreadsheets. So we have sheet 1. This is sheet 1. I can open this plus sign, make me extend further to open a sheet 2, then and so on and so forth. So to navigate it, I have to like move around this arrow. If I put in a data here, is this navigation will help me move around the sheets. But since I have not inserted anything, that's why it's still blur. Yeah, so that's basically it. Then we have the sheet tabs. Yeah, I explained the sheet tabs. This is the sheet tabs. And so yeah, and then the next slide is explanation of spreadsheet components. We have the title bar, already explained all of this. Title bar displays the workbook name. Toolbar contains commands and tools. Name box shows the active cell address. Formula bar used to enter or edit formulas. Row horizontal arrangement of cells. Columns vertical arrangement of cells. Then cell intersection of rows and column. Then sheet tabs used to switch between worksheets, just as I've mentioned earlier. And yeah, we're creating a spreadsheet. Yeah, if you want to create a spreadsheet, we open Excel, select a blank workbook, or you click Control new. To manually enter data, select an empty cell such as A1 and then type text or a number. Press enter or tab to move to the next cell. So let's practicalize this. Now I want to close my Excel. Then save. So let me show you, like I'm opening it for the first time. Yeah, so my Excel is opening. So here you see a blank workbook. You click on the black workbook, and this is where you start typing. Your columns are where you type your headings. I can say name. I like to type in capital letter. I can say name. I can say age. I can say let's say maybe surname. I can say surname and so on. So this is how you type in Excel, and then you move with your. Then I said press enter or tab to move to the next cell. Yeah, press enter. I know where your enter key is in your keyboard. Press enter to move to the next row, and then you press your tab. Your tab takes you to the next column. Yeah, so that's basically it. And how to save, I showed you in the file, you can save here, save as, then select your document. You can do that, save in your download button on your document, save the document, and then rename it. You can rename it, maybe something like, let me name it as Sylvia Task 1, and then press enter to save. Or you can also save with a shortcut, which is Control S. You still at the same road. You can save as Control S. So yeah, that's basically what this is talking about. Then entering data into Excel, you already explained that. So this is just like an introduction to spreadsheets. So we'll go, in our subsequent lessons. Saving a spreadsheet, I already explained that. So in the next video, we'll be looking at recent Excel documents. See you in the next. Thank you so much for sticking with me around. See you in the next lesson. Bye.